Welcome to the ElfQuest Collector's Guide, showcasing a different collectible or unboxing video in every episode. I'm your pack leader for this hunt, Mandy Roncalio-Meyer, or as I'm known around the ElfQuest web world as my elf self, Shadowfire. Today, we're going to be talking about the Wolves of Wolf Park art portfolio, the final video in my 4-part video series about the art portfolios that solely feature Wendy's wonderful artwork. The Wolves of Wolf Park art portfolio was self-published by Wendy and Richard in 1986 under their Father Tree Press publishing title. It features a foreword both by Wendy Peeney herself as well as Dr. Eric Klinghammer, who sounds like he belongs in ElfQuest with a name like that. Dr. Klinghammer founded Wolf Park in 1972 and is the supreme alpha of both the park and the pack. Wolf Park is still open today, and you can find all of their information on their nifty website, which I'll put a link down in the video description below. In 1986, Wendy was invited to spend a week observing the creatures of Wolf Park at Battleground, Indiana. While she was there, she studied the lupine creatures, and it wasn't until she had a firm grasp on their own characteristics and attitudes that she began to sketch them. Those particular sketches were quickly done, as wolves are constantly in motion while awake, and are not the sketches that are actually included in the Wolves of Wolf Park art portfolio. Eventually, she created 10 charcoal sketch drawings of the wolves that she studied, and those became the prints that are found in this art portfolio. Each image is printed in black and white and measures 11 by 14 inches. If you watched my unboxing video about the National Wildlife Federation's P22 print, that print was actually designed after all of the prints in the Wolves of Wolf Park art portfolio. That print, P22, is actually still available, and I'll put a link down in the description below so you can go purchase your own. And remember, proceeds from those prints go to help the National Wildlife Federation build a land bridge over the busy 101 freeway so that animals can get back into nature where they belong. Now, let's dig in and get to the images of these beautiful creatures. Now, the Wolves of Wolf Park art portfolio comes in this really nice envelope so that you can keep them all straight and clean. Now, to be honest, I don't think that this art portfolio initially came autographed, but I just happened to be lucky and got a copy that Wendy signed. Featured on the cover of this art portfolio is Pat Goodman, who was an important volunteer at the time when Wendy got to visit the park. With her is Kuro, who had broken his leg as a pup and had to be carried in a very similar manner by Pat. Once we open up the art portfolio's folder, it's got this really nice big long description basically of what I kind of just ran down for you, but with more details. And on this side we have descriptions of the illustrations of each one of these wolves. I will be summarizing some of these, but I don't think I'm going to tell you the story of each wolf. I'll save that for when you get your own copy of this art portfolio. Well worth getting, guys, well worth getting. The first print features the wolf Tornado at age 12, who was alpha male and often established dominance by standing over the other wolves, as shown in the corner down below. Here we see Kisho at age 3, who I guess was a bit of a foodie. It seems this was drawn after one morning Dr. Klinghammer went to remove a deer carcass from him and had to use a rake to try to gain the spoils, which didn't work, and Kisho ended up winning. When Dr. Klinghammer talked to Wendy about drawing this particular print, Dr. Klinghammer said, "When you draw him, make him ugly, because I don't like him this morning." This is Betsy at age 5, and she was the wolf that Wendy and Richard adopted through the Wolf Park's sponsorship program. Wendy recalls when Betsy once found a dead garter snake, and the wolf continued to mash that snake into a pulp and then roll in it. This is the way that wolves bring back information and new odors and scents to the rest of the pack. This is Faust at age 7. According to Wendy, he was the most fantasy-looking of all the wolves, but unfortunately he was also very low-ranking. She illustrated this by drawing him in a submissive pose down in the bottom. This is Mephisto, age 7 and littermate to Faust. He was once the beta male, but since losing that status, he seemed to just enjoy lazing in the grass or timidly peering from on top of one of the dens. This is Kalia, age 3 and littermate to Kisho. She was known for having a very intense stare due to the dark fur around her eyes. She was also known to be bouncy and initially friendly, but could only handle very little petting before threatening to snap. This is Venus. At age 8, she's the alpha female of the pack. She was often found on top of their wooden pens, with her paws crossed in a very regal manner. To be honest, she reminds me a lot of Timane. This is Imbo. At age 5, he was considered a true gentleman by the volunteers, and was commonly used for Visitors' Day demos. Imbo was the very first wolf that came up and greeted Wendy when she first entered the enclosures. Wendy recalls a day towards the end of May where the pack destroyed her misconception of wolves and fire. She tells of a night when Dr. Klinghammer and the volunteers built a very large bonfire, and 5 of the wolves spent the night prowling through the grass, howling with the human songs and getting occasional belly rubs. At one point, apparently Imbo walked up to the fire, grabbed one of the flaming branches, and proceeded to dance around the fire with it in her mouth, completely destroying the misconception that wolves are afraid of fire. This is Sergei, I just like saying it like that. This is Sergei at age 7. Christine Marks, who is a volunteer, animal behaviorist, artist, and coyote expert, explained that while he was a pup, an older female bit off a chunk of his nose. Now, while that didn't obstruct his breathing, it didn't affect his smelling at all, it did leave him with a chunk missing out of his nose and a very distinguishable lopsided look to it. This is Attila. At age 12, he was Tornado's less royal brother. According to Pat Goodman, he had plenty of chances to improve his standing with the pack, but just never seemed to assert himself. Attila was also known to be shy of larger groups of children, and therefore he was kept in a separate enclosure with his packmates Betsy and Sergei. And finally, on the back cover of the portfolio, we have Achille at age 5, who was Betsy's brother. Achille was shy, but was known to give hugs to familiar faces and occasionally to newcomers. It's said that he grew even more outgoing as he matured. I actually couldn't find any copies of the Wolves of Wolf Park art portfolio online for sale, so I can't give a very accurate current going for price. But seeing as it's that rare, I would imagine it probably goes for a fairly hefty price, considering there's a collector willing to pay for it. And I bet you there is. Time for reading your comments, guys. I haven't done this for quite a while now, so I'm going to read my prompt, I'm going to read the question, I'm going to read my answer directly off the prompt just to make it easier on me. So, under my Art Portfolio 3 video, Christina S., who's followed my channel from the start, I might say, asked a great question. How did you come across ElfQuest at your age of 6? And what is it about them that reeled you in and got you hooked? Truth be told, I might have actually have been younger than 6 when I first started being curious about ElfQuest. My older brother has been a fan since its beginning in 1978, and he had one of the promo posters on his wall, as well as the Ral Partha lead miniatures sets in his room, all of which I was not allowed to touch. I would stare at that promo poster and the minis and wonder what the story behind the characters were. It drew me in, but as I wasn't allowed to touch anything in my older brother's room, I couldn't find out the story that I was so desperately curious about. I say that I was about 6 because though I had seen ElfQuest before and was extremely curious about it, it wasn't until my childhood best friend got her hands on the Starblaze Book 1 and showed it to me while both of us were still learning to read. One of my favorite childhood memories is of myself and my bestie laying on her parents' bed while listening to the Listening Library audiobooks and following along in her book. I remember us laughing at their interpretations of the characters' voices. So when I say I was 6 when I started liking ElfQuest, that's really a guesstimate, and it was actually earlier than that when I first became curious about the series. ElfQuest has been an important part of nearly my entire life. Thanks for your great comment, Christina, and thank you so much for always supporting my videos. If you'd like to get a howl in my next video, or if you have a question about ElfQuest, myself, my channel, or anything else, go ahead and leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do about answering it. Or contact me on one of the social media websites and I will probably read your comment because I am all over the place on Facebook and Twitter, guys. So contact me if you've got any questions or any comments. If you want to give me a thumbs up, you can find me out there. Well guys, that's it for this episode. The next showcased item is going to be the Deluxe Art of ElfQuest, the first book in the art book series by Flesk Publications that was funded by Kickstarter. And yes, I will be showing the bonus Kickstarter exclusive goodies that I received from backing this project. If you have any questions or comments about this item, make sure you leave that down in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you learned some cool new info about collecting items from our favorite series, ElfQuest. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button down below so that I know you enjoyed it. If you would like to see more from me in the future, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell icon next to it so that you will receive a notification when I upload. And if you want to help my channel grow, please, please, please share my videos and my channel on the social media platform of your choice. Alright guys? Last but certainly not least, I just want to thank everybody so much for all of the support and encouragement I've been receiving since starting this channel. I've been going for almost a year now, and I have just been overwhelmed with the welcoming that I've gotten for my videos. So thank you guys for subscribing, thank you guys for supporting, thank you for sharing, thank you for all of it. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here doing these fun videos for everyone. Please don't forget to join me and the rest of the tribe on Facebook in the many ElfQuest-based fan groups around there, including the official ElfQuest group and the ElfQuest Collectors Unite group, which I am the admin for. And don't forget, there's lots and lots of helpful links down in the video description below for this one, guys. Check it out. All sorts of fun stuff. Once again, thank you so much for watching, folks. Until next time, shade in Sweetwater, and happy hunting.